Oh, hello, everybody. Hello there, Internet. It's me, TJ Rotell, and here with me, as always, are my co-horror hosts, Denise Pantoja and Glenn Akers. Welcome to Blood and Popcorn, everybody. It's Friday night, and we have a very interesting movie to discuss with you tonight. Denise, Glenn, welcome. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday, chat. Hello, Zis, Mac Morden, and the rest. Hello, hello. Hello. Happy Blood and Popcorn, guys. We've been out for a while. Welcome back.
We have. I didn't get the fucking sunglasses note. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm
You
always
should
wearing
always
them.
be prepared.
So,
Just
that's
always be
Denise
prepared.
copping on my fit. That's all I'm saying.
No, excuse me? Shoot.
Oh man, well so it's I think it's so fun that we watched this movie today because it takes place in Vegas and the three of us just came back from Vegas where we were producing this crazy stream for Alienware, and this was decided before the stream. I think we'd planned to watch it in Vegas, but it was nonstop work, so that didn't happen. But we just watched it. We just finished it just moments ago. Dave Bautista, Zack Snyder, Army of the Dead. Denise, this was your pick, no? Or was this
No,
was this the tribunal's pick?
It was the tribunal's pick. It was
The
fresh.
tribunal.
Um, freshly rotting, if you know what I mean. And none of us had seen it, so we
So
said,
this was the choice.
why not?
I'm here for this decision, though. I'm here for it because I love zombie movies. We all do. I think like we
True.
could probably agree that of the genres, if there is one genre that we can all heavily agree on, it's zombie movies. And it'll be interesting to see everybody's different takes on this movie because I think it's pretty unique. I think as far as zombie movies go, this one had some interesting ideas about how to be a zombie movie, and
Well,
that
it was a
fun.
combo.
What's up,
It
Epic?
was we could call it a zombo movie, a combo zombie movie.
Zombo sounds like a very interesting kind of genre film. Hey,
It
did you
does.
check out that new Zombo movie over at the Palladium?
Like it's illegal in a few states, kind of weird.
Yeah, like it can't be like it's Juggalos produce it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like, um,
Oh, hey, by the way, I just want to check. Is my mic picking up all the other sound? I need to grab headphones. I don't want it to be terrible for y'all.
I can't
Just
tell.
holler.
I can't
can't
tell,
either.
Denise.
I wasn't talking
Only
to you.
chat.
I was talking
Only chat will know.
I was
Only
talking
chat
to
will know.
TJ. I was talking
Well,
to
speaking of chat, hello everyone. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us on a Friday night. It's
Hi.
good to see you. Throw some popcorn in the chat if you saw the movie that we're about to talk about, because spoiler alert, that's what the show is. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to rate the movie. We're going to fill up our respective popcorn buckets. And by the end, we'll tell you, the viewer at home, if, not if you should watch it, because you should fucking always watch horror movies. Watch every horror movie on the planet.
Why not?
But what we thought of it, you know what I mean? What our
I
personal
mean, sometimes
opinions
we
were.
might be like, don't waste your time. But
Yeah. But, this is an opinion-based show. And, just because we, may feel a certain way about something doesn't mean you have to,
But we
That's
are
the-
always right.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Unless
Denise,
you
tell us a little
disagree
bit
with
about
me,
this
then.
movie.
I will. I'm actually gonna remove part of my cosplay because you can't even see it. I was wearing elbow guards, but they get a little tight.
Well, you're dressed as
That's-
one of the, I think, arguably the coolest characters in the movie.
Chambers was a badass dude.
Yeah.
Like that.
Never
was,
killed a zombie before.
Whew,
And then you had some
She
John
was-
Wick shit going on.
epic. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
super cool. I'm gonna look for my headphone while we chit chat.
Do it. Well, all right, then, Glenn,
But
I'll tell us
oh.
about Army of the Dead.
okay.
All right,
I mean,
then.
you know what? I am a multitasker, but okay.
Well, go ahead if you can do it. Please
No,
do.
it's too late.
No,
No,
I don't
Glenn.
want to do it. I've talked enough, Denise. Please.
Glenn, do it.
No.
There you go. You have to do it now, Denise. You spoke up.
I won't. I will not. I
and hence,
refuse.
then
No,
this
you
is the
guys go ahead.
show.
Stop.
Watch the show unfold now, everyone. This is
Stop
meta.
picking on me.
This
I've
is
gotta
the
plug my
show
headset in.
inside of
I don't
the
have time.
show. Inside of the show in your mind. Anyway, Army of the
Ooh.
Dead is a new zombie movie by director Zack Snyder, most famously known for other movies. But the one we like him for is the Dawn of the Dead remake. Because to be honest, I think it's the only one in his catalog that I like even a little bit. But I rather like it, so I was rather excited for this, his second zombie undertaking, because Dawn of the Dead was fucking awesome. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, I think. But yeah, it's got a pretty blockbuster cast of the one, the only, the Beast, Dave Bautista. You've got Ella Purnell, Ana de la Ruggiera, Amari Hardwick, Theo Rossi from Sons of Anarchy.
Or the Guetta.
Thank you, Denise. I'm not even going to try and pronounce Dieter's name. But yeah, this cast is great. And it has a CG. The real star of the movie is the CG Tig Notaro, who, to be honest, was like the best part of the movie for me. And I would watch her movie all day.
Tig Notaro wasn't CG, but she was comped in. Like,
yeah,
it's not
Tig
like
was
CG, like Tig Notaro was a CG monster or anything like that.
No. See, Tig Notaro was actually, I think, the best outright performance in the movie, and on top of that,
Tig Notaro was hilarious.
Best character, best one-liners, and completely CG'd into the movie, right? Like, after the fact.
Which was, wow. Like, if you hadn't told me that, I don't think it would be something I was like,
it's a technical dynamo what they did with Tig Notaro in that movie. Like, that's some really... I can't wait to get into the editing of this film, because hot damn.
Super true.
I think Snyder said that was the most expensive thing they did on the film.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is wild.
Right?
So tell us about it, TJ. You told us about the cast. What's the movie about?
So imagine a world, if you will, where like Ocean's 11 meets like Gone in 60 Seconds meets like Dawn of the Dead meets like Return of the Living Dead 3 meets like a bunch of other movies like some video games. Like, take all the zombie pop culture you've ever seen in your life, jam it into 2 hours and 28 minutes of a hard R Netflix movie directed by Zack Snyder, and that's what you got with fucking Army of the Dead. There you go. That's my synopsis of the film. But no, so you've got Dave Bautista. There's a whole sequence in the front where you kind of learn a little bit about where people comes from. And it's like a merc group, and they're hired by this dude to go steal money from his casino, and they're gonna get a big cut. And they get there, and something's different. They weren't expecting it, and then they got to fight their way out of the shit.
Something's different.
And then that's it. And then that's how they go. But let's talk about it. Let's
just dive in. What?
I think let's just dive in. I feel like I don't listen. I want to shit, man. I don't want to start bashing this movie, but I'm already forgetting about it. So we definitely need to like dive in. Where to start? Glenn, tell me, did you have a favorite moment in the film, something that stood out to you and made you go, oh, that's pretty good?
Outside of Tig Notaro, every time she's on screen, that's the best part, period. Other than that, it would have to be the more outrageous effects. The 50 cal, when it's just like tearing apart that zombie in the beginning. Or the wall smashing zombie when they pull it apart and it's just gooey, Peter Jackson, early Peter Jackson gore and goop.
Yeah, there was a good amount of gore in this movie, that's for sure.
There was, thankfully.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Which
headshots.
is what I was coming for. Yeah, a lot of headshots.
Oh, love the headshots.
A lot of gore. Solid zombie effects. We'll get into that a bit later, but I was into that. Yeah, Epic's, calling out the tiger, which I believe Carol Baskin
that was cool.
had something to do with. Carol Baskin was
Isn't she a monster of her own making? I've never seen
on the film.
I've never
Denise has never seen Tiger King.
You haven't?
No.
What?
I don't know, Glenn. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I mean, if she refuses to watch it and it breaks my heart.
I did not refuse to watch it. Lies.
She said, I'm not watching that Tiger King. Anyway, Denise, did you have a favorite moment in the film? Something that made you go, oh.
Wow,
Um,
that good, huh?
shush up. You give me a
Heavy
minute.
stuff.
I would have to say when Alpha comes in and he's just ripping everybody apart, I was like, oh damn, like that was that was pretty cool in like an effects and action way. Not I listen, I don't enjoy seeing people ripped apart. Um, but uh no, that was a cool moment um for me, being a horror fan. I
I
think it
think
was done well.
the most the most memorable thing for me were the deaths, I think, and the most memorable of those was the tiger attack. Just because when he rips the whole face in front of the skull off like that, like
That
that
was
was
cool.
like that made me go like, oh wow, all right, like that's pretty good. Oh, and how can you forget zombie fetus?
Oh yeah.
It's not a
I
Zack
mean,
Snyder zombie movie if there's not a zombie baby in it. He's
that's
two
so
for
Oh, that's
two.
true.
true.
He's two
That's
for two
so
right now.
true.
That's true.
You know, Zack Snyder loves a good zombie baby.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie baby is like a good like DJ name or like
Zombie.
a good Twitch handle.
That is good.
What's up, everybody? I'm Zombie. Zombie. Oh man, this movie made me really think a lot about the movies I want to make and if I should or not. Because sometimes the idea is good, and this was it was a good idea. Like I said, like I don't want to bash the movie because I liked it. I just don't think I'll ever watch it again. It's one of those kind of situations. But I think we should dive right into it headlong.
Let's do it.
Because I think we've got a lot to talk about. We got 2 hours and 28 minutes to cover. So let's start mixing it up. So let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start, and that's with the script. Someone got it in their head that they wanted to do a zombie heist movie in Vegas, and they were going to cast Dave Bautista as a very emotional
Other people.
and person and a mercenary killer and other people, and they did, and that came, and from that decision came the script. Denise, what were your thoughts on Army of the Dead's pages here? What'd you think?
Hold on, I'm finishing typing my thoughts. I watched the whole thing without taking any notes because I wanted to pay attention to everything. So I'm writing down a few thoughts here. But at first, like the first thing I wrote down and the only thing I wrote down was like, not bad. It was a true mix of heist, redemption, and zombie story. But this was like first half hour, 45 minutes in. And then it got pretty busy.
Busy's a good word.
There were a lot of different. Listen, I know you got to have the bad guy. You got to have the guy who puts everybody in danger, the whole mission in danger. And then, the person who also puts the mission in danger by going off on some random stupid, like, I'm sorry, one of the things that bothered me about Kate really annoyed me. And one of the things that bothered me about Kate is Kate's like, she's got 2 children who I look after. But also, if I go into the dead zombie city, I will also be leaving them without anyone to take care of them. And they will probably be separated and live a terrible life or die.
Let me do the same exact thing that your mother just did. Let me chastise your missing mom for her mistake and then immediately choose to willingly make it again the next day. Yeah. So
I wanted to grab her cute little curls that were down out from her ponytail and just yank on them and say, "What is your problem?"
Give her the old ponytail headbutt.
Ponytail headbutt for sure. Yeah, then of course you have the side story with Garrett Dillahunt and the casino owner. You've got this. I really, really, really appreciated the burgeoning friendship between Dieter and what was his name? Where are you? Where are you? Well, Theo Rossi got high billing here.
Dieter and Vanderho.
Vanderho. Why isn't he even showing up here? See full cast. Why is
Vandero?
Van
Vandero?
Vandero. Yeah. Okay, there he
Vandero.
is.
I don't know.
Sure, Vandero. I thought that was great. I thought Dieter was hilarious, and I liked how in the end they like became really good friends. The
Could use
really
more of that. Could use more of that.
for sure. Actually, I thought that the coyote was very interesting, but then there was her redemption story. I think Garrett Dillahunt was grossly underused. That guy is an amazing actor. He can do the creepiest of creepy, and he is also hilarious. He is a true chameleon.
Yeah, the guy's great.
So I thought that his, sure, whatever his storyline was, I thought that he was grossly underused, and really I was very much looking forward to having him in the movie. Yes, Dave Bautista was a very sensitive character. And then this really weird turn with Maria in the end, and then she gets fucking her neck broken.
She gets another very
thereafter.
weird turn on her neck.
Ha! I see what you did there.
Turns at 180 degrees to the left.
It was I liked story-wise, I like how Zack Snyder did the beginning. It was very similar to Dawn of the Dead, where you through the credits get to learn why we are where we are. I really liked that, and there were actual like little stories like that mother, that suburban mother who turned out to be like a badass in the end, and then she and her daughter were both like overrun by zombies. That was really cool. I did not like the ending. I absolutely hated it. Kate, I just hated it. Even over the woman she risked everybody's lives to save. Good God. But then the ending was interesting with Vandero. But I really would have loved like one interesting survivor, but that's okay because it's a zombie movie and you never get the part of the point of these things is that you don't get a happy ending, right? That is the scary part of a zombie apocalypse. Like there will always be something that causes it to continue on. I thought that I really enjoyed some parts. I loved the thought of alpha zombies a la Land of the Dead, where they have their own communication, where they have their own thought process. I really enjoyed that. But even that we like dipped our toe in there, and then they can procreate. But you know what? Whatever. It was too much. It felt like too much to me. Even for a 2.5 hour movie, it felt like we just dipped our toes into a lot of different pools, and I would have loved just one big pool to relax in.
That sounds nice, Glenn. What
you go
what
from
was your
pool
score?
to like. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
7.5 out of Camp
Yeah.
Denise.
Yeah.
It sounded like you wanted to make it lower.
I don't know.
She just feels she's a kind soul, Denise. Trying not to hurt Zack Snyder's feelings. Glenn, what were your thoughts on the script?
I thought its dialogue was not good. To be honest, the story to me, like it hits elements that I like. Like I love heist movies. Like more, I like the Ocean's movies probably more than I should, including 8. I enjoyed myself in 8. And I just lost all fans that I had.
You lost all credibility.
I think I might have enjoyed it more than no.
Get out.
We'll leave that alone. I love heist movies. I like zombie movies. The backstories I liked until we heard them talking. Like, I think what it is I think Zack Snyder's really good at being a visual director, but once he has to do dialogue scenes, you're just like, oh, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
like you said, I loved the beginning montage. Basically, I would have watched way more of that than like it looked like they just like threw darts at like a cliche backstory board, and they're like, burger flipper turns into mercenary, and it's like,
Yeah, the script was written with a fucking Mad Lib.
right?
You know what I mean? Like
It was
like it's a 2.5 hour Mad Lib. Like
there's,
name a famous comedian to replace a scumbag comedian. Tig Notaro.
It's true. Like there's like two blue collar like cliche jobs that people have in these movies. It's either flipping burgers or they're a mechanic.
Yeah, it's very
And there's
blue-collar.
fucking both of
We
them.
got two of them. Two
Right.
mechanics, one burger flipper.
Which I guess like I doubt he was trying to be meta and like turn the genre on its head, because that isn't what he does.
No.
But I will say I still actually did enjoy it, even though it did all this. But like every single character was just like, oh, there's the evil henchman who like should have been sniffed out the second he walked on set with aviators, and they didn't until it was way too late. Anyways, and then there was just like some of the zombies had blue shit that wasn't explained.
Yeah,
like,
blue
why was the
eyes.
baby
They had
blue?
blue
There
eyes.
was the one guy like glue, like his eyes glowed blue and was the only one. And then like the king's head had blue mist in it. Like, explain what the fuck that was.
We will not.
No, we won't.
Certainly not. You gotta wait for the Zack Snyder cut.
Right. It's
The black and white
hours.
one. It's 17
Right.
and a half.
Release the Zack Snyder cut.
Release
Right.
the Snyder cut of Army of the Dead, you cowards.
And then the Joker shows up.
Then
and
it'll
says
be a
something.
good movie.
No.
Then it'll be good.
I still give it 6.5 because at least it didn't seem to drag too much, even though it was 2.5 hours, which that might have been editing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It probably should be lower with the amount I just shit on it.
Well, I mean, I didn't treat it super kindly, and my score, wasn't. It was pretty high. So, all right.
What about you, TJ?
Well, here's the thing.
Tell me all about it.
I respect the originality of the piece. Respect to marrying those two genres, whether they did it right or not. I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been done. But I'll say this.
Feel like no.
I gave it a 7 because I felt it was exactly average by our standard.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a it was a good enough zombie movie that I enjoyed it, because I did. Like, end of the day, I did enjoy the movie. But I mean, it's a popcorn zombie movie. Like, this would have been a summer blockbuster any other year than this one. Like the pandemic, obviously, you know what I mean? Like this would have come out in July of 2020 or something, right? Like, this was a big theatrical release. Dave Bautista, on the rise, Dave Bautista.
Yeah, he's trying to follow in The Rock's footsteps and, making some good choices.
Yeah, and he did good. Like, that's the thing, right? So, like, I gave it a 7 because it was original, and I think the dialogue was not good. And I think the story was not great, but it was original, so average 7, hard 7.
Worse.
Well, what could be a lot worse is the acting in this movie.
True.
What are your thoughts on that side of things, Denise? Hey, Mo.
You know what? I'm gonna give it an 8 because nobody was. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Sorry, that was a change. Is Austonian here? I'm gonna go 7.5 because everybody was fine. Like I said, somebody like Garrett Dillahunt should leave me speechless. But I mean, gosh, again, here we go with the balance, the lovely dichotomy of, would it be dichotomy
I don't know.
No,
I'm not good at
between
language.
script and acting. I mean, they're not opposing necessarily, but one can significantly influence the other. I might have used dichotomy wrong, but so should I blame the script or should I blame the acting? I feel like I was too generous with the script, and I'm not gonna let the acting suffer because everybody was. I changed it. Oh, everything's gone all wrong. I don't know what I'm doing with my scores.
So get out.
Everybody was good.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye. Tig was great. I thought Chambers was super cool. And honestly, nobody was bad. They were all good. I wasn't bothered by anyone. Excuse me, but I also wasn't wowed by anybody but Tig. And I think they were all fine. Again, I honestly, I probably should have acting as an 8 and script as a 7. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to change it again. I'm going to do 7 for script.
Double change.
Whoa.
Because honestly,
score change.
I blame the script for this. And you know what? I think that, I mean, he's very busy right now, but I think that one thing, because like you said, Zack Snyder's very visual, and I think the one thing that saved his ass for Dawn of the Dead was that James Gunn wrote that script. I think that he needed somebody like James Gunn.
Yeah.
For something.
Yeah,
like
somebody
this.
like Zack Snyder should never have full creative control, ever.
At least with the script.
Zack Snyder is the definition of checks and balances. Like someone should always be checking that dude.
And were Zack to ever ask me, I will deny it. Do not tell Zack Snyder what I said. But no, I think he really could have used somebody like James Gunn in this to help him streamline it a bit more.
Could you imagine Zack Snyder be like, "Fuck you! Like, what are you? Who are you, man?"
Zack
like,
Snyder would be like,
"You have a horror podcast on Twitch with 9 people watching. Get the fuck out of my house!" And I'd have no recourse. I'd be like, "Yeah, man, you know what? You're right.
That's fair.
Best of luck to you, pal, and all the success in the world."
What it is my humble opinion. That's all. I still love him. I still give him money.
Yeah.
I mean, not today because we
laundered it through Netflix.
We didn't launder it. Listen, it came out on Netflix. It's a thing. It's valid.
It's true. Yes, we do pay for Netflix. Who pays Zack Snyder for the movie?
This is true.
Yeah. Glenn, what about you, man? What were your thoughts on the acting?
It would have been the same as my script score of a 6.5. I didn't think anybody really knocked it out of the park outside of Tig, which is actually why I gave it a full point more, was because of her. Every time she was on screen, I was trying to think of who she replaced, and I was like, I doubt it would have been that good. There's no need to talk about that, but
no, we're not going to say his name.
No need for that.
No, fuck that. She did an amazing job. I thought, like you said, Dee, everybody else did a fine job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. Tonight. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to like
a little bit
delve into, and I think a lot of it was like script. Like there just wasn't much for him to work with. Yeah,
and it's not all Zach's fault.
No,
other people are to blame as well.
I mean, he does have the sole writing credit though.
And he directed it, and he was the producer.
No, well, he's got story by, and then screenplay by him, Shay Hatton, and Joby Harold. I don't know who these people are.
Oh, it's another Joby Harold joint.
Do you know who that person is?
No, I don't.
They wrote Barry Lyndon. Yeah, I have no idea.
He's known for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
And producer, writer on Untitled Transformers thing in 2022. It's a very big deal.
Oh, okay.
Well,
but he only has 5 writing credits. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Untitled Transformers Project, which are coming up, Army of the Dead, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Awake.
How the fuck did he get these jobs?
Because he's an executive producer on John Wick Chapter 3, executive producer on Robin Hood 2018, EP on Underground.
Okay.
Edge of Tomorrow EP.
Ooh,
yeah.
All right.
This guy's legit. All these people are very legitimate.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he had just come out of nowhere and was like, I'm writing for Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's like,
I mean, as a writer,
Star Wars?
in a way, he only had a few credits, but
That's
as a
crazy.
producer, he's
all right.
It's actually
it's still my turn.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
it's so and see, Shay
the asylum
Hatton
version.
was a writer on John Wick Chapter 3,
Okay, all right. I can get
Chapter
behind this.
4, and Chapter 5.
What about the acting though?
Carry on.
Sorry.
You don't need to yell, TJ.
I mean,
Sorry, I was like, what? Are we gonna go through the whole crew? Like, welcome to Blood and Popcorn, the IMDb episode.
It's important. No, we've talked about this before. We've even gone away from it a little bit, but it's important to know who's part of the movie. Jerk face.
Come on, Glenn. Tell us about the acting in this movie.
Oh, I was pretty much done. It would have been a 6.5 without Tig. She gave it a full point.
So 7.5?
7.5.
Denise,
Damn.
did you also have a 7.5?
I had an 8 because
An 8.
I blamed the script over
That's
the
fair.
acting.
I gave it a 7.5, and like Glenn, but they only got a half a point because of Tig Notaro, because it was a 7. It was a 7, and then Tig Notaro full half point up for me. 1, because of an excellent performance, but 2, because doing it to nobody,
Yeah.
doing it to the crew. So
Agreed.
kudos to Tig Notaro. Yeah, that's it. 7.5, easy score. Like, it was good. Like, yeah, like it was fine. Like, it was fine acting, fine horror movie acting. I couldn't point to any single person in the whole movie and be like, oh, that guy was bad. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't find a character that was a bad actor. They were all good. They were like, there's nothing wrong with any of it. It just didn't. None of it blew me away except for Tig.
Yeah,
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, moving right on along here.
Moving right along.
We have the special effects department coming up to the plate, and this movie has a lot of it. Denise, tell us about your thoughts on special effects.
I normally am. It's interesting to me how these zombies are perceived with the jagged teeth and their facial appliances and whatnot. I think all of it was done well. I thought all of the kills were done super well, and I thought they were really cool. I thought the blood was cool, the viscera. The CG, I mean, listen, you stuck another human being inside of the movie and made it look like they were there with everybody else. I'm going to give it a 9. I think that nothing stood out to me being like really, really unbelievable for me. So I'm going to stick with a 9.
Yeah, that's a solid score. I don't disagree too much with that. Glenn, what about you, man? What are your thoughts around the effects of this movie?
I would have initially gave it a 9. I agree with everything Dee said. The zombie effects were, I thought, rather good. Clearly, they did practical makeup on most of them, I assume, if not all of them.
Close-ups for sure.
Yeah, there is a few CGI shots that were namely the helicopter at the end. Though
Wait, which part?
When it's
the
crashing.
actual helic? Oh, okay.
Like when it's like falling from the nuke, like when it crashes.
Okay.
It was all right. It's definitely seen worse.
Right.
Putting Tig in, I thought worked most of the time, save for maybe a shot or two. But like, I can't fucking imagine doing that and doing it well.
I couldn't do it.
Like, that's also not just effects, like that's also like lighting. Like matching
That's
her
true.
lighting to what scene they're in. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even knocking it for that. Like, the only reason I'm going half point lower than what I'm saying is a 9, and this really actually is a script thing, I assume, was the 3 main explosions in this are stupid. No car explodes enough to knock a fucking military vehicle off the road and like make its payload splay all over the fucking road. Like it doesn't do that.
Are you sure it wasn't the driver's payload that caused that?
That's fair.
Oh,
That's good.
how you feeling? Hot, hot, hot.
Roadhead is dangerous, kids.
It is. Don't do it. Pro tip.
Who knew that the cause of the zombie apocalypse this whole time was Roadhead?
Fucking Roadhead, man.
The more you know. The other explosion when he shoots a tracer round into the backpack that has fucking gas in it. Again,
Oh yeah.
no, that's not how that works.
That's
And then-
I have my that's I have a similar issue with that, Glenn, because it's a plastic gas container.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so yeah, wouldn't this? I mean, would you consider this a thing for special effects, or would you consider that a script thing?
I'd put it in special effects, but I'm like, in theory, it should be a script thing, but I don't know how it went down. Like
Pyro
it could
should
just
have
be
said something.
right. And then the last one, this is so Hollywood that like he pulled the pins on like 8 fucking grenades, and then it blew out a room in a fireball. That's not how fucking grenades work. Like they shoot shrapnel, and there's very little fire. That's the point.
Oh,
Well, these
so
were
it should be
fire
body
grenades.
parts rather than fireball.
But anyways, I mean, I can't super hype on it because that's just how Hollywood is, and like you need fireball explosions to make it cool.
We need an explosion.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I actually really enjoyed the effects. I'm usually not a fan of like CGI gore, which obviously there's some of, but it was done really well. So instead of a 9, I gave it an 8.5 because I had a few nitpicks. But for the most part, I think this is the strongest aspect of the movie.
Yeah, I agree
Outside
with
of
that.
the like 10 minutes that Tig gets on screen alone.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. And I 100% did because I too gave it an 8.5. I think, you know, if you took every other special effect out in this movie and just did the Tig stuff, it's a 10. It's not perfect. Like there are a couple moments like the wide shot where they're walking into Vegas for the first time. Tig looks very
CG.
animated, very computer generated, very composited on the screen. And but even that's forgivable because, like I said, they're like you said, Glenn, this was a Herculean effort to get this done, and mad respect to Zack Snyder and mad respect to Tig Notaro and to everyone who touched a frame of that process. Kudos to you. You are a 10 out of 10 in my book. But there were some things that I had to take some points off for, and yeah, for me, like the tiger was a little cartoony. That lost some points. But yeah, I usually have a pretty serious problem with CGI gore, but I think this movie did it pretty fucking well. I really couldn't like one or two scenes maybe where I was like, yeah, it's a little cartoony, but like for the most part, like the gore in this movie was beautiful. Like mama's pasta sauce on Sunday dinner. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Pour it on, baby. Pour it on.
Oh God.
I could have used more.
Yeah.
I could have
They
seen
married-
more.
What they did is they married it well. They took practical and they took computer generated and married it well, and they complemented each other super well. They didn't go heavy on the CG, which made you be like, I wish it was practical. So good job for them.
Yeah, and good looking
I mean-
zombies. You know what I mean? Like, were they my favorite zombies ever? No, but they were good. Like the desert zombies, like baking in Vegas heat for a year.
That was a very interesting. Yeah,
that makes
it was
sense.
a
Dude, I
very
just got back from
interesting note.
Vegas. My fucking face looked like that after being in the Vegas heat
100%.
for 20 minutes. I was all like,
So
Like,
I
fucking
definitely
was
buy
terrible.
that zombies are they're all desiccated until the rain comes, which is also a very interesting thought.
we didn't
as
get
well.
to see that at all.
Also, yeah, you can't set that shit up and not show it. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was weird.
Script.
Ugh.
Again, there was so much they were trying to get through.
Like they
Yeah.
could have like even in the background, like a sprinkler went off or something, and one like, ugh,
Bleh.
like,
I'm sorry, TJ, were you done? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was very done. I was gonna move on to production
Great.
design if that's okay
Let's
with you guys.
do it, please.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. Hey, Death and Saints, what up, you?
Oh, hi.
Yeah, production
What's up,
design.
Mama?
You know, a movie like this in a town like that, and I'm
hard.
sure 90% of it was CG.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts? I'm gonna switch it up this time and go to Glenn first. Glenn,
Oh,
what
get
are
outta
your
here.
thoughts on
Am I
production
talking too much?
design? No, I'm just spicing it up. It's Spicy Friday, baby.
Is that what that is?
I don't know, man. I'm trying my best.
I thought it was pretty good.
Asleep.
Yeah, I thought the production design was pretty good. I never didn't believe that they weren't in Vegas or at least a casino. I don't know where they shot this. I assume they had some sort of casino they were
Canada?
shooting in. If it was Canada, too fucking shay.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll look
know.
it up.
Or they built this, like whatever. Like the
Or
production
the
design
whole
was
thing's
really
all CG.
New
Again-
Mexico.
There you go. That makes sense.
okay. That does make sense.
Desert.
Uh,
God, that had been like they just production rolls through and buys 1,000 acres of land and just in the desert and just owns it, just rolls trailers and fucking lives there for a few months. Like,
Took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Could be. I didn't notice anything off or wrong. Like it didn't scream to me like, oh, they're shooting at Mandalay Bay or they're at the Wynn or whatever. Like
yeah,
it wasn't like they're in this hotel and they only shot there. Mainly because they didn't shoot in any hotel in Vegas. The only thing, and I didn't know actually where to put this nitpick.
thanks for the gift
Is-
sub, Epic. Did you guys
Oh.
hear the sound? Did the sound play, by the way? Because I don't hear it anymore on my end. In
I didn't
in
hear it, but I
OBS,
have-
It is
I
odd.
don't hear it anymore.
I mean, I heard it the other day in your channel. It's
I wonder
no.
if it's. Let me know if
you
you
were
heard
testing
that.
it earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if it was working.
Let
Because
us
I
know
don't
if you
hear
heard
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't hear it. Let us know. Yes. Okay. Good. That makes me happy then. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, Glenn. Sorry to interrupt. I got.
No, it's
derailed
okay.
there. Please go ahead.
The only nitpick, and I didn't really know where to put this. Like I know where to put it. It should be props, but we don't have a props. So I
Proper.
I
No,
put
it
it
should
in
go in production design.
right. I put it in production design because they work in tandem, but are not the same department
I
or
mean,
category.
it's under the same
union.
banner.
Yes, sure.
Production design, and then set deck, and then they're not
I
under
don't
the
know.
same.
I genuinely.
Well, why are you shaking your head?
We utilize it like that pretty much because we have smaller budget stuff, but I don't know what it would be like.
Carry
a
on.
proper
I'm
movie
sorry.
like this. Genuinely.
Carry on.
Anyways, and this is a super stupid small nitpick, and maybe it's because I enjoy what I'm nitpicking about.
Okay.
They opened a screw top or twist off bottle with a church key, and that annoyed the hell out of me because they didn't have to do that.
Whole
I didn't
point.
take any points off, but I just didn't like it.
Whole point lost.
That is a bad sign when you're noticing that.
He's got a keen eye.
Okay.
The only reason I did it is because they lingered on the shot, and you could clearly see that the neck had the threads on it.
Yeah.
Mo does that. Mo's done that. You got.
I've done. I
words
mean, we've all
for
done
him?
it. Like we've all
You got
drunkenly
words
done
for
it.
him, Glenn?
No, I like Mo. No.
Sure, you do. Just like you like Wes Craven and John Carpenter.
I do like one of them more than the other.
I'll never tell.
You hate them both.
I won't because
Anyway.
you guys fucking twist it. Holy shit.
Carry on. That is a lie.
What'd you give production design, Glenn?
Oh, I didn't actually give the number. An 8.
Cool.
Solid 8. Yeah, solid 8.
Sounds
Denise,
good.
what about you, man? What'd you go on the production design side?
I'm gonna go 8 too. There wasn't anything that particularly stood out for me in a good way or a bad way. So, that was good. It kept me in the story. Crappy little diner. You got Vegas at the beginning, man getting bitten to death in a hot tub, all very accurate things that would happen, I guess, if a zombie apocalypse happened in Vegas. It was all very, wherever they were, it was all very specific. You know what I mean? There wasn't a whole lot until they obviously went into Vegas. There wasn't a whole lot of big, wide, far-reaching shots where you pick up a lot. When they first get into the casinos, it's dark, there's no power, and it's not tunnel vision, but it was very specific. So you didn't get or you didn't have to pick up a whole lot of different scenery bits. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 8. Solid 8. So we got 2 8s. Yeah, I think, I'd probably go, I'm going to go 8.5 on my score because and to be honest, I think I would have gone higher, but I think a lot of it was CG. I think, and if not, then I would go back and change my score. But, I gave it an 8.5 because it was full. It was very full. Everywhere you looked, there was stuff. There was always stuff. There was, tables and chips and little things and cobwebs and all the minutia that goes along with a casino being closed for a year. You know what I mean? Overrun by the undead. So yeah, 8.5. I was a fan. I liked it. I like I said, I'd have to go back and watch it again, which I won't, to know how much was CG. But yeah, for what it was, 8.5. Solid score. Solid production.
Good.
Well done, team.
Good for you, because it's interesting. I usually pick up on that stuff, and I didn't pick up on much of that. I very much remember the room with the safe, which was pretty bare. When they're going through all of the hibernating zombies through the kitchen, not a whole lot. So that's cool that you picked that stuff up. I'm surprised that I didn't, because I don't really do. Anyway. Wardrobe.
Well, you're fired. I wish I had the 2 screen queued up. That'd have been funny. Anyway,
I really wish you did too, because then I could just leave.
Anyway. Well, Denise, you're dressed to the nines, and you pulled that together. So, what were your thoughts? Dressed as Chambers. What were your thoughts on the wardrobe here for the film?
I love wardrobe, and it says a lot about the characters, and I thought that the wardrobe did that, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought Marie looked cool, and Chambers looked cool, and the dudes looked cool. The coyote looked cool. But I have to take points off, because even though you're in Vegas, if you're going into a city overrun by the dead, why are there so many fucking bare arms? Why is everybody in a sleeveless shirt? There is zero protection, and that is bothersome. These people fought their way out of Vegas at the beginning of the outbreak. The man's got a Medal of Honor from the president. Why is there not more protection from being bitten?
Yeah. It's a tough one.
So even though they did it with style, I have to give it a 7 because of the impracticality. And it pains me, because I love style.
Very interesting.
Even being a not very stylish person.
Very interesting take. Glenn, what about you, man? What were your thoughts on the wardrobe here?
I really don't like doing this, but I'm going to change it and agree with Denise on a 7. I had a 7.5 because I basically was like, it looked fine. I might have given it half a point because of that line where she was like, is that a zombie in a cape? Which really is more just dialogue.
That we could probably credit to Tig.
Exactly. I'm sure she has with that. Damn it. If you aren't right, why is it? I'm upset that I didn't put that together.
everyone.
So stupid. I mean, you don't have to wear like chainmail, though I fucking would.
Fucking
Right.
100%.
100%.
Hood at least.
At least-
Chainmail hood at least.
Yeah,
Chainmail hood.
like put on just at least a long sleeve tee. There's fucking
Yeah.
sun rays there too, people.
A wetsuit. Very good against zombies.
Yeah. It's good against
Wetsuits,
sharks. Good against
very
zombies.
Good. Yeah.
You don't have to wear like leather sleeves, though. Again, would have been much better.
Yeah, like wetsuit with some biker gear. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all chainmail hood. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all
Yeah,
right. So you
so I'm
give
gonna
a
have to-
7 there?
I changed it to a 7.
Wow, you guys are harsh. You guys are fucking
You're
harsh.
usually the harshest one.
Right?
Man, I gave Wardrobe an 8.5. I thought it was really good. I mean, I wasn't bothered by it because here's how I thought of it. I went with the Predator mentality. If you've ever seen Predator, everyone in that movie is sleeveless and they're in the jungle with poisonous insects and snakes and all other kinds of terrible shit that'll bite you and kill you. But everyone had big guns, so they wanted to show them off. So they were Predator. So I really didn't mind it. Like it didn't.
Big guns?
It wasn't something
Both?
that I either thought of or bothered because, I'll play a little devil's advocate here. One,
Let's turn my
the mission was not supposed to be that combat heavy. It was supposed to be in and out. You know, they had the upper hand according to the cinematic in the beginning of the show, explained by our friend that funded the venture. That like in their head, this was the smash and grab in and out job. They got in there thinking this is gonna be easy. Let's go sleeveless. Let's go with comfort over function here. And Dave Bautista was like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna wear long sleeves. I'm Dave Bautista. I gotta show off my sick fucking sleeves. I gotta show off my tats, brother. That's Hulk Hogan doing Dave Bautista. But yeah, no, it didn't bother me. Like I thought everyone looked exactly how they would probably look in this type of situation. Like the one that really bothered me was the daughter. Like that was like I feel like, you know, you're combat ready. These are trained professionals. They're a military unit. Like they clearly don't have the money for tactical gear, even though they had funding and they could have gotten it. You know, like there were dudes pulling out guns from the desert. Like, you know, this guy's like, any hardware you need. Well, all right, here's what I need. I need a Black Hawk helicopter. It needs to be brand new. I need woven Kevlar bodysuits, gloves, hoods, and masks. I need like high tactical gear, high caliber, silenced rounds. Like they chose to go with the shit that they had. So sleeveless, but the daughter should have put a fucking hood on or something. Like I don't know.
Well, and she works at a refugee camp right outside of the city.
Yeah, her sleeveless shirt was crazy. But then so the other reason I gave an 8.5 was because I thought the Alpha and the Queen's costumes were really cool. I really liked the Queen's. It was very, very reminiscent of one of my favorite zombie movies of all time, Return of the Living Dead 3, when the main female zombie in that movie starts putting glass through her shoulders and through her hands and her face. And that's what that reminded me of. So I really loved that character's look. So it got some extra love for the zombie costumes, not just the human costumes, but zombie costumes. 8.5
No, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
from
I
the
got
old
a
T to the J.
A strong Wonder Woman vibe from her.
Zombie Wonder Woman from the Blackest Night series.
You know, I will also say, even though I loved Chambers and I thought she was badass,
Died way too soon.
died way too soon. Hoops, really?
Yeah, terrible.
No. When you're going, you're in the metal earrings, gonna burn the shit out of you, and it's just something else for somebody to grab onto.
Yeah.
It was not thought through, and this seems definitely more like just decoration.
So here's my thought on. Well, go ahead, Dee.
Well, I was gonna ask, where the shit should we put stunts? Because I think the stunts really, the fight choreography, especially for her, deserves a mention.
I agree. We might have
That's
to
a good
revisit the
question.
rating system because or on moments like this, you know, maybe add it as a category. I don't know.
I mean, we also said things like that we can add at the end to overall enjoyability. But
Oh yeah, like
I
bonus
did want
stars.
to, yeah, jump in and say she was fucking awesome. She was so
Yeah.
cool. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that from her character at all, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, and I think
that was one of my favorite parts.
I think that was the brilliance of that character is like she's like from the minute her and her buddy step onto the scene and join the crew, you're like my immediate first thought was, oh well, these guys are fucking cattle. Like they're here so that Dave Bautista doesn't die until the last scene. Like that's why they exist. Like we need to murk a bunch of dudes, so that's why you put these guys in the movie. I'm surprised there's not more of them. And then, you know, to have her basically get abandoned and she's never killed a zombie and it's all this other shit and you're just watching her to be set up to be a red shirt, and then she's the most badass character in the movie. Like I would argue she was the best fighter in the film. Her only problem is that she was overwhelmed by the situation she was in. Like
Agreed.
In any other situation in that any other of those people were put into place with throughout that movie, she would have survived it. Like she was in close quarters combat, surrounded on all ends with limited ammo and limited movability. Any other scene where they got attacked and she would have been able to handle herself. Chambers was the best fighter in that movie. Kudos to
I would
Chambers,
say
RIP.
setting her up as a noob and her not being one really was the best bit of scripting there was in this.
Yeah. Agreed. Hard agreed.
TJ, what were you gonna say when I started to talk?
That.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Chambers, the unsung hero of the film.
Yeah, and then cleverly at the beginning when one gets woken up, just switching over to the knife, you gotta quietly kill him and catching him and pulling him down. Like, yeah, she was Chambers.
Yeah.
Love Chambers.
Rip R.I.P. Chambers.
R.I.P. Chambers. Okay.
Man, oh man. Well, you know, this movie had quite the soundtrack. There were a lot of covers and a lot of licensed music in this. And Glenn, I know you've got very strong opinions on this, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on the music behind Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
I'm trying to think how to lead into this.
Yes, Death and Saints. They were all jobbers to get Batista over. Correct.
True. Like I said earlier, to me, Zack Snyder is a very good visual director. Like he should really play more in music videos, which is mostly where he's best, is when music is playing and there's no dialogue, or silent films, which we don't make anymore.
Oh my god, that was funny,
like
Glenn.
truly the opening of The Watchmen, and don't at me, but is fucking great.
Yeah, just
Like
watch
that music and the slow-mo, that's awesome. The opening of this movie, pretty great.
Awesome.
Again, no dialogue.
Right.
The thing though, with me at least, is his song choices always seem to be like film school level. Like they're like, ooh, this would be cool if we use these songs that like the title is about this. And like,
oh my god,
that's all he does. Like Hallelujah when he's fucking orgasming in fucking The Watchmen, or Zombie in a Zombie Movie, which I like that song, don't get me wrong. Or Bad Moon Rising, like cool. It's filmmaking 101, awesome. I'll give him credit, he used covers, which I'm hoping wasn't because they were cheaper. I'm
sure it had a little something to do with it.
I might have. Like, and I'll give him credit. Like, I like all these songs. Like every song I've ever heard in a Snyder movie, I like these songs. But it's just like they're fucking cliched. Like, just go with some other song that like references zombies instead of is called zombie.
Don't be so mad at Zombie.
I love that song and most of its iterations.
The Bad Wolves version is great.
Bad
Bad
Wolves
Wolves is
version
the best.
The best.
It,
Holy shit! I mean, not
sorry,
better than the
Cranberries.
Cranberries. Not better than the Cranberries. It's in its own. It's in its own lane.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, Dolores O'Riordan's got my heart, but
it's like, it's great in the same way, but they're two different things. They're equally great.
Agreed.
Which most covers usually aren't.
No.
It was the Cranberries, Mo. Anyways, I can't get over that because he does that in every fucking movie.
It's his thing.
It is, but it's not a good thing.
You know what it almost feels like? Bad Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like Tarantino does it with
I'm thinking
great
of what
mastery.
I picked. Yes.
Yeah. The music in Tarantino's movies is a character. This is a
and it
this
works
is a playlist
because it's not so like on the nose. You're like, okay. I think because Tarantino picks songs in the way they evoke emotion and not about lyrics, which to me is what Snyder does.
Okay, so that is a very specific difference. Yeah, you're choosing based on emotion rather than the literal lyrics.
Right. Anyways, that's why I gave. Now I wish it would have given it lower, but I'm not changing another one. I gave it a 6.5.
You got to be true to yourself, Glenn.
Because I get what he picked, and I like the songs, and they aren't misplaced. They're just amateurly placed.
Yikes.
Damn. Denise, what are your thoughts on the music?
I'm gonna go with a 7. I understand what Glenn's trying to say. I like that he picks different versions of the songs, like he did it so well in Dawn of the Dead, like that Dick Cheese cover of Down with the Sickness. I know you love it, TJ. I love it. It is perfection. It opens that movie so beautifully. And even it's not a cover, the Johnny Cash, like that was used really well. Perhaps it's something that he's relied on.
Which Johnny Cash song?
In Dawn of the Dead.
What was it?
When the man comes to town.
I guess it wasn't the full song, right? It was just part of it.
It was the opening credits.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I thought it was. Never mind. I'll shut up.
Okay. Great.
Sorry, D. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. It is perhaps something that he has relied on. Like maybe it's been one of those things that he has really focused on, but not put too much thought into, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There were a couple of songs in here that I liked that I thought worked really well. And then they were fun. It was good to, hear them. But yeah, it didn't help me connect to the movie more. It was just a good, like you were saying, I think TJ, maybe you said a good soundtrack.
Yeah. D, we are dead aligned on this. I gave it a 7. It was going to be an 8, but Glenn's description of the kid in college, like cycling through his CDs and being like, oh man, I'm gonna use Stupefy from Disturbed in my trailer for my action movie at AFI, right? It's because I did that. I was that kid. Like I didn't go to film school, but I did it too. Like every movie I made in high school had that fucking Deftones song from The Matrix in it. Like that. Like that song was in every movie I made in high school because it was awesome and it cut well. Like that's the thing, right? Like you have this music as inspiration and shit, man. I wouldn't doubt it if Zack Snyder fucking thought of those scenes while listening to those songs and then found the covers and did them. So like I love covers. I love covers and I actually enjoyed the soundtrack to this movie. But Glenn, it lost the whole point with your explanation of how they were worked into the film, and then the Tarantino thing. Whole point went down. But still, hey, average. Bad Moon was the standout for me. The CCR cover was really good. That was the one that was the most memorable for me.
Don't get me wrong, I really like all those songs. I would buy this soundtrack. It's just
Yeah.
No.
A tough hit for Camp Snyder on the music there. But for me, the flip side of that coin, sound design. Well, I'll wait till it's my turn. But Denise, what did you think?
Why don't we start with you this time?
Well, all right, fine. I will. I gave sound design an 8.5. I thought sound design in this movie was fucking great. I especially thought it was fucking great because of the guns. I am not a gun guy. They terrify me, and I don't own any of them. I'm more of a bow and arrow guy. I was a Legolas fanboy, so I'm bow and arrow all day. But the sound design, I do know, like, my family, hunting growing up, like, I do know what guns sound like, and they all sound different. And I thought that when you had Batista with the heavy caliber gun, you felt it. Like the sound design was so good in this that you felt the power behind those rounds. And then when the dude from Raising Hope was in, he had like a very high powered, quiet rifle, and you felt that thing humming and spitting out bullets. And I thought that was pretty special. And then just the placement of the zombies, throughout the movie sound wise, I thought it was really good. 8.5 from me on the sound design side. What about you, Glenn?
I really like the sound design. This is going to be hard to explain. Save for the Queen. I liked her scream, but she did this weird like clicking sound. And like if anybody read my notes, which I'm glad they can't. In the Transformers movies, the Autobots and the Decepticons did this weird like whirring / clicking thing when they like were morphing or whatever the fuck they were doing. And she does that, but not that, no. Like this whirring like clicking sound that like if you turned it into like an organic thing that did that, she does that, and it just like doesn't make sense in my head. Like they're still human, they've just been, their teeth have grown and they have yellow eyes. Like they're still human. Like we can't do anything like that. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I get that they were
brains, Glenn.
I mean, I've had brains before, they just weren't human. It's like scrambled eggs that are a little chalky. They were deer brains, basically.
No, nobody wants to know.
And cow, actually, now I think about it. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus, Leatherface, come on.
And chilled monkey? No, that's from a movie.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
And they're often found in Cantonese culture.
I know it's man, I kind of lost my thought there. Holy shit.
Sorry, buddy. Brains.
No, it's
Brains.
okay. No,
clicking
not brains.
noise. Clicking noise.
God.
It's not human.
No, I know. That is the point that I was making. And I get that they're trying to do like make her different from the rest of them because she was the queen and had some version of blue in her that we never got described to us.
The baby. It was the baby.
Sure.
That was the
I don't know. Like her scream was cool, but it was like a little off. Like it was too off for me. Like the Kings made more sense, and the rest of them were just like, okay, it's a howl scream thing that zombies can do.
Yeah.
But she had this little extra thing that just like didn't make sense and rung a little off to me. My long-winded way of saying I gave it half a point less than you did. I gave it an 8 because of that.
Fair.
But the rest of it was great, like the splatter of the blood and the gunshots, which were really good. Usually they're more muffled than they should be, like you said, or like you were alluding to. Great sound design, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more of a creative choice I had a problem with, which I guess really isn't fair, but
You're taking a lot of points from other departments because of the script here, Glenn.
I don't think
Script
they
is really leeching.
I don't think they scripted
points
that,
away from the
though.
departments. I bet they
How
did.
do you know though? How do you
It was
know?
the
I
queen
don't-
makes a high pitched whirring sound like the sound of 1,000 cicadas
Like-
driving a Ford Mustang
Like from
before letting out
Transformers.
her banshee wail.
Sure.
So my question is, she's the only one who did that clicking sound? Are you 100% sure of that?
No.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Here we go.
I mean, I think so.
That's cool. I was just curious.
I'm not going to watch it again.
No.
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah. I agree with TJ, more with TJ, so I gave it an 8.5 as well. I did notice those differences in the sounds of the guns. The splatter, yes, was great. I thought that I mean, it could be an interesting way. I mean, if she is the only one, I'm not sure what the explanation is there. But if some of them are, you know, if you're, it could be explained away that because of the eye change and the eyes are filled with blood now, like maybe they do have to communicate more sonar like.
Sure.
Because of the change that happens in their body. But that's neither here nor there. 8.5 for me. Camera and lighting. Gentle folk. What do you think?
Yes, Glenn,
wants to
I'll
go
let you
first on
I'll
that?
let you speak to this, Glenn. You can take the floor here first, buddy. And,
Are you reading my notes? Is that why you're having me go first?
No, I'm not. No, I actually
okay.
have y'all's notes cropped on my screen so I don't see them.
Oh yeah, I can't see yours either. I gave it as low as music because it does something that I really can't stand.
What is that?
And this is normally not a criticism I have of Snyder, but it seems to be something here in the last 5-10 years. The extreme shallow depth of focus and like the love of out of focus bullshit. This needs to go away like shaky cam went away in 2008. Like, fucking let it die. It's not cool. Everyone's doing it. Fuck off. Like, ugh. Yeah, I get it. It's arty. You got like vintage lenses that you can't pull focus on. Like, okay. I can't stand it. And he did a shit ton of it in
Sucker Punch?
the Justice. I didn't see Sucker Punch.
I didn't either, but I assumed.
And we did not
but
see
I-
Justice League.
I didn't see that
You
either.
know what? I bet there's a lot of songs that are just so over the top in Sucker Punch that it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
That was very song.
A lot of
if I recall.
evanescence from the time, I'm sure.
Sure. If Dead Bodies Hit the Floor is in there, I'm sure it's in there. Anyways, he did this a lot in his cut.
Okay.
Especially like when the Joker showed up. If anybody saw the new Justice League Snyder cut,
Started
And it
it,
was just
got 2 minutes into the movie and went, I don't like this at all, and I shut it off.
and I can just see like the camera guy just like, ooh, in and out of focus, awesome. Anyways, there's just too much of that. I can't stand it.
Oh my gosh.
I get that they were also in the desert and that like it's supposed to be golden yellow hues. I thought that was a little too heavy-handed. I mean, it wasn't Traffic where it was like we're in Mexico and everything is literally yellow and we're not and it's blue. If anybody remembers Traffic.
Yeah, sure do.
Vaguely.
Okay. Did that win the Oscar? I think it did. Anyways, yeah, so I didn't love the camera and lighting, which
You still gave it an
again
8.
is I did not.
Oh, I thought you said an 8. Sorry, was that sound design? That was.
What'd you give it?
Yeah, that was sound design. I give it a 6.5,
Yikes.
which is low. I gave it the same low score as music because it hit things that really like push a nerve apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But 6.5 isn't really a bad
Thanks.
score.
His cinema school brain.
That's fair.
He went to film school.
This is more opinion.
I know,
Um,
I'm just kidding.
like I can deal with one or two out of focus shots, like, but like they lingered on the shot of like the tiger just walking in the background out of focus. And I was just like, why? That wasn't even there. Like you had to post out of focus that fucking thing. Okay, I'm done rambling about that.
Oof,
6.5.
man.
Is he? My goodness.
6.5.
TJ, what did you think?
You know, I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8, and let me tell you why. I thought the out of focus stuff felt like Heat to me. You know what I mean? That shot in Heat, like, so, like, because it's Vegas and it's hot pavement and like a bunch of bodies and shit floating off of them. So I attributed a bit to that. But the thing that made me give it an 8 more is I think a lot of it was post, and I think a lot of it was to hide Tig Notaro.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because Tig was in a lot of those scenes that were half out of focus, and I think it was to blur her comp into the movie quite a bit. Because when Tig was clean, super sharp. In the group shots, always just a little out of focus. And I'm wondering if they didn't just make that decision in post because of Tig Notaro's addition to the film.
That's
so
interesting.
8 for me, but that's a wild conspiracy theory. You know, I'm not a camera lighting guy. I just make these things, so you know, who knows. But Denise, I'm curious on your thoughts.
I went 7.5 because nothing jumped out at me either way, and I agree with you 100%, TJ. I thought it was mostly because of Tig stuff, and it didn't bother me. Like, it's not one of those things that bothers me. It's not a personal yet. I mean, now it's gonna bother me forever. Thanks, Glenn.
Welcome.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Watch
so I
the
give it a
Snyder
7.5 because no thanks. Because yeah, it was nothing took me out of the movie, so we'll go a little above average there because nothing really hit me as like either. So.
Yeah.
That's all fair. That's very fair. You know, Glenn, what were your thoughts on the post work here and editing, the editing side? What do you think about the cutting room?
This is where I have the least amount of notes. Nothing really stuck out at me, other than what we talked about in chat, which makes me kind of want to change it. But again, that might be a script thing. So he gets saved and he gets himself put into the vault, which like clearly is several levels underground.
Yeah, many levels underground.
Like freight elevator levels underground.
Yeah, like they're in that elevator for a minute,
right,
going down,
and then a nuke goes off and levels Vegas.
It was a low yield nuke, mind you.
Oh, sure. It's still a fucking nuke.
Shoot a nuke down a bug hole. Got a lot of dead bugs.
Star Wars. Nice.
That's the second. That's the second Starship Troopers joke I've made today.
It is. And then it cuts to him just being like, "There's a rock here. Oh, okay, I got out." No, like. Again, I have a feeling that's a script thing and not really an editing thing.
Yeah.
But then again,
taking away so many points from the other departments because of the script.
I didn't take away that many because like it has a better than average score for me. But like other than that, I didn't really see anything spectacular or shit-tastic. So I gave it a 7.5.
Fair scored. Denise, you've been spending quite a bit of time these last couple of days in the edit bay. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the post work here.
I gave it an 8 because the post work, I think it was done really well. I know we talked about TIG and effects, but marrying it all together, it felt good to me. Nothing felt jumpy or out of place or out of good flow. editing wise. For other reasons, yes, but I think that for a 2.5 hour movie, nothing jumped out at me to say, and I know usually we'll go like average or above average if nothing jumps out, but I think for a 2.5 hour movie, for comping in an actor who came to the movie well after it had been shot, if you put all those things together, I think that they put it together very well, and I give it an 8.
Amazing. I also gave it an 8 for literally, like, I'm not even going to talk about it long because it was the exact same reasons I had. Like, what you said is exactly what I felt as well. 8 for editing. Great work. Especially, once again, any department that touched Tig Notaro's insertion into this movie deserves a huge fucking round of applause. That is some groundbreaking cinema work there, kids. Well done.
Truly.
Well done, team.
I mean,
well done on that. Well, we have come to the last category here. Our buckets filling up rapidly as we work through Army of the Dead. Enjoyability. This is the big one. This is for all the kernels, baby. All the buckets. Glenn, what were your thoughts on the enjoyability of this film?
I did enjoy it, and I think, like you said earlier, I won't be watching it again, or if I do, it won't be for years. Because I would recommend it, though. It's definitely worth a watch. It's not bad in any way. It's definitely enjoyable. It's just nothing new, really, or spectacular to make me want to be like, oh fuck, I need to watch that. Yeah. When I talk movies with my brother, we talk about hangover Sundays. I might do that.
Yeah, this is a good hangover Sunday movie.
And I'm just like,
You fall asleep halfway through it for like 20 minutes, wake up.
Exactly, and then you wake up and there's still another 2, and it's a Zack Snyder movie and there's still 2 hours left.
Fuck.
They're now getting into Vegas. Cool.
Yeah. Hour of exposition on these characters are gonna die in 15 minutes.
Right. Oh, he flips burgers. What a fucking twist.
Yeah.
What a twist.
Anyways, it was a little long, like that we were just saying. I thought the characters were either just fodder for zombies, or they died too soon, or it was Tig Notaro. The dialogue and the story were but the effects and the set pieces, which include stunts, which we don't really have a good way to judge here, are pretty much top notch and are definitely worth, I think, the admission. Like, I think your trifecta for this movie is the stunts, the gore / set pieces, and the, I don't know, 15 one-liners that Tig has. And then if somehow you could mute the visuals and just listen to the music, it's a good soundtrack to listen to.
Yeah, like it's definitely one you pick up at The Wall or Sam Goody, you're 16.
Or FYE or Amoeba if you're local.
Yeah.
Anyways, I give it a 7.5.
7.5. Ms. Denise, tell me your thoughts, your dreams, your aspirations here in Army of the Dead.
Because of characters like Dieter, Vanderoe, the Coyote, and Chambers, I would say I would agree. It's one of those that I would never be like, ooh, let's watch Army of the Dead again. But I'd give it another watch if it was on, or if we were like doing something else.
Yeah.
Purely for the Chambers fight scene. And I really loved the Coyote. I thought she was super cool. I was very interested in her character, and I would love to know more about her.
That's the problem. Like we didn't get background on the ones you want.
No, exactly.
Chambers, Coyote, and fucking Tig. Like,
and we only just like dipped our toes in there. And Tig was hilarious. And there were actually like Dieter made me laugh a lot. I laughed out loud several times. I had higher hopes for this film because what? Bank heist zombie movie? Yes, I love the idea. And I hope it opens the doors for other iterations, as I'm sure it will. I'm sure Asylum's going to come out with a great zombie heist movie.
It'll just be called Zombie
Great
Heist.
and Asylum don't really go
Exactly.
together, but all right.
So
Sorry, Asylum.
I would say just above average, but Chambers fight scene gives it another like at least half a point. So
Sure.
I'm definitely going to go with 8 for overall enjoyability because I did laugh a lot and I did really, really enjoy the effects and I really, really enjoyed the fight coordination for the most part. So that's where I am.
Yeah. So what did you give it to? I'm sorry. I was reading
8.
Death and Saints. 8. Solid 8.
Is that true, Death and Saints?
That's funny. That makes sense though. Alex is all about that. Special effects performer life. He's a creature actor. It's and quite good at it.
Oh wow.
Yes, he
So
is.
that makes sense.
Makes sense.
You know, I like I said at the top of this episode, like I liked this movie, like I really did, but I there's a lot about it that bothered me.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 7.5. I gave it a 7.5, and here's why. So when you're watching a Romero movie like we all do and we all know and we all love, you get dropped into the middle of a world and you have a bunch of normal ass people doing extraordinary things to survive in a world that has descended into chaos, right? Like that's the bread and butter of the Romero verse. And it works. And I think the reason it works is wholly the reason that Army of the Dead doesn't. Because you have these insanely detailed video game characters that you want to know more about doing with crazy weapons. That dude had that fucking K-saw and he never used it in the main fight. Like
It's true.
You have the whole purpose of him having it is so they can cut their way through the concrete and get out of that room. Like the Romero stuff is perfect because these are normal people having to flip a switch and survive in this world. These characters are choosing this life. They're not like, none of them are really being forced into it. They're not destitute. Like they've got jobs, they're making a living. It might not be the life they want or deserve, but they're not, they're not in a camp. You know what I mean? Like some of the other characters are, right? But like, I think that's what makes it work. Like you're in this world with Romero and it's simple. The dead have risen and they are coming to kill you. And that's it. And the other thing about it is when you die, you become one of them. And it doesn't fucking matter if you get bit or scratched or if you have a bad flu. You rise from the dead in Romero's world when you die. And that is a chilling fact. I always used to say when the Dawn of the Dead remake came out, the difference between the two was that in Romero's Dawn of the Dead, the dead were coming and it was inevitable. You were going to join them. And in Dawn of the Dead remake, it was the dead were coming and you're fucked. And that's kind of what Army of the Dead is here. But you have this crazy world full of crazy lore and backstory and rules and variations on those rules. And you have so much shit in the bag and you never learn about fucking any of it. And that's my major gripe with the film. How can George Romero, with no money and no cast, tell a better story in a single location in a fucking farmhouse in Pittsburgh than Zack Snyder with unlimited resources and some amazingly talented performers? It's just, if you're gonna build a world and you're gonna make it fucking complicated, you have to explain the rules. You have 2.5 hours to do this, man. Zombieland does it extraordinarily well because they threw a mechanic in there to make that work. You can't have you can't make Resident Evil without explaining what the fucking Umbrella Corporation is, because the whole franchise falls apart when you do. And that's why this movie is something I probably will never watch again, because man, like I need to know why I'm in Narnia. I mean, like maybe if we ever watch every zombie movie ever made again, then I'll watch it. But before that day comes, I probably won't. Cause yeah, I took real issue with that. Like, you know, cause like I said, Romero's probably my favorite horror director, and the Living Dead series is easily my favorite horror series. And, you know, if you're going to make all these rules up, you got to give us a peek behind the curtain, man. You can't just expect us to believe that 2 zombies in the movie have glowing blue eyes.
Well, and that the zombies are procreating. Yeah, there was far too much left unsaid.
Far too much. Like, I will suspend my disbelief to the point where the shunting makes sense, or the shunting in society. Like, I will suspend my disbelief that
Don't
far.
ask people. Don't ask.
And if I can do that, I damn well better be able to suspend my disbelief enough to buy this movie, and I just don't. Right. So that's my hot take. 7.5, above average, a good one and done zombie movie. Popcorn, extra butter, throw some mustard in there for yourself if you're into that kind of thing. Throw some M&Ms or some Milk Duds in there if you're into that. Strap in for 2 hours and 28 minutes and enjoy some really fun popcorn action zombie heist, and then put it away and say you did it. That's it. That's it for me. What was everyone's totals? I'll start with mine. Total ranked out at 79 for me. Pretty good considering the impassioned speech I just made about how much it pissed me off.
Yeah.
My goodness. 78 for me.
Yeah, still pretty good.
We've had a paradigm shift. I'm now the most critical.
Who knew?
Where'd you rank it?
73 and a half.
Ooh, that's a big swing. That's a big swing. Mm-hmm. But alas, I think overall, like final thoughts. Does anyone have any final thoughts? I have nothing further to say. But do you two have any final thoughts on the movie you want to get out before we go here?
I think I've said all that I need to say. Except, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because you're not comparing him to Romero, because we all went into this knowing there is no way it would have been a Romero film. You just mean as far as like structure. No, of course not. But like you were speaking specifically about structure. If you're going to have something like that, structure it better, right?
Yeah, it's pure world building. Romero put the Living Dead into the world and gave them specific rules. If they bite you, you're a zombie. If you die, you're a zombie. If you shoot them in the head, they will die. If you don't, they will not die. That's it. That's the whole movie. That's the universe. Like, you don't know why they're there. You don't know how long they're going to be there. You don't know how they got there. But those rules, you have enough establishment of the rules that you're able to forgive why they're there. Like, we got the why. They gave us the Return of the Living Dead why in Army of the Dead. See Epic, we got that, in actually a very similar fashion. Military operation, zombie gets out, wreaks havoc on a town, right? Like it borrows heavily from that theme. In Romero, you don't get that. You get rumors, you get rabid monkeys and a comet flying overhead, but you never get it confirmed. But you have everything you need to know in his world to be in it, to put yourself in that world and imagine that you're a survivor there. In this world, it's just like fucking through the looking glass, man. It's like, what else can we throw at it? Glenn, I think you had the best description of it. It's like they sat around the room and threw darts at a board, and that's how they put together. The thing was made like a Mad Lib, and when you do that, you just can't tell. I don't think you can have that many rules and not explain them. My 2 cents. Did
you have anything else to say?
Sorry, I'm really getting hung up on this.
You are.
This side of things. Glenn, what about you, man? Any final thoughts?
I've said everything.
I really can't elaborate on it more than that. I totally agree. It was kind of a dartboard thing, like you said. Like, you can't throw shit out there and not explain it, especially when Romero did it in half the time you did it, but also made like one of the best social commentary movies at the time, and you didn't make a point. Not that you have to, but like he like 1-2 punched and then like KO'd it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, there's blue things, but I'm not going to tell you what happens.
Yeah. There's ghost energy in the baby fetus. Like, And then
Right.
it disappears to show that it didn't make the trip.
Right.
Didn't make the trip.
Yeah.
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 But again, it's definitely worth a watch. It's not shit. There's a lot of technical aspects that are really great about it. There's a few creative choices that Tig did that were good.
I love that we talk about Tig like we're friends.
I know.
Just
I
such
want
a
to be
cool
friends
name.
with Tig.
I would be friends with Tig. Yeah, man. I think that's it. I think that's the thing. I think we can all agree that you should go watch it if you got Netflix. It's worth the watch. It's a weird.
It's worth a watch at least.
Yeah, it's a weird movie that way. Like I said, I don't know. And hey, maybe that's the point. Kudos to Zack Snyder for making me feel something about a movie for the first time in a long way. Like not since the It remake have I felt, or It Follows have I felt
so
this
strongly
torn about a movie, because like I said, like I do like this movie. I have so many problems with it that I won't watch it. It's a weird movie, but go watch it. Go check it out. And I don't know who's up. Should we roll a die to find out who's going to pick next time?
Do it.
Let's do it. Actually, someone roll. I haven't put in those yet. I have a D20. No, we can't do it. I'll just roll a D6. I got to build in more dice into this chatbot so we can roll a bunch of stuff.
Shit, but
all right, we're gonna
gotta
roll
get you an overhead cam.
Right?
I know, right?
We got a D6. 1 and 2 we'll do for Glenn. 3 and 4 we'll do for Denise. And 5 and 6 we'll do for TJ. Here we go. Who's picking next, baby? That's a 4. So looks like Denise.
Me?
You'll be choosing our next film will be chosen by Denise. I don't suppose you have that handy, or should we look for that in the Discord?
You know what? Hold on. Why don't you guys chat about what's coming up in the
all right,
and let me take a look.
Yeah,
because I tend to wait.
While you're thinking, let me go through the channel announcements. We're back, everybody. We are back from Vegas. We're back on track, baby. And tomorrow night I'll be back with my dear friend and fellow cursed host Davis Saunders for This Show is Cursed, where Davis and I are cursed to talk about all things D&D and RPGs. And then back next week, we'll have Denise back again in the hot seat, praying and slaying with Dead by Daylight, her Dead by Daylight stream. Bonus round is going to start sprinkling in. I think we're going to start going up on Monday nights at 9 with that. But other nights you can look out for that, or Tuesdays and Thursdays in that same time slot. So, take a look. Take a peek. And of course, you're watching Blood and Popcorn here every Friday night, 10 p.m. We are back. Denise is about to tell us what she chose for her movie next week, because she's definitely got it.
Listen,
she definitely has it lined up.
So the thing is that this is almost like me at a restaurant, where TJ likes to say that I tend to make my decisions. Like, they will be the last decision I make on earth. And you know what?
Real talk.
It's very important to me, because when it doesn't work out, especially when it's food, it makes me very upset. That makes me sound like worse than I wanted to. But anyway, these are very important decisions to make.
It's true.
Okay.
Do you want to wait? You can wait.
No, I will not. Let's go ahead and do. It's going to be okay.
Are you sure?
It's going to be okay.
Are you going to be all right?
Let's do.
Holy shit.
Actually, let me.
Oh, no.
Is that.
Uh-oh.
I just want to make sure that we can find them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to pick something that nobody can find.
While you're looking, don't forget, everybody, the Channel 29 socials are right below there in the About section, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you don't mind, give us a follow. If you're new to the channel here, please give us a follow. It would be very nice. We've got some chat commands that you can check out if you have a need to participate in chat. If you like jumping in with the 29ers and learning some more about the channel and the shows you're watching, there's some chat commands below. We also got some fun emotes for our subscribers, our 29ers, our friends. And then on Wednesday nights, you can catch Denise and I on Fractured Roll. We should be back next week, and that'll be fun. I'm gonna see if I can get this in here. Oh wait, no, I have a chat command for this. because I did one. And there it is. Yeah, go ahead and follow Fractured Roll. You see Denise and I play D&D. It's super fun. Denise, I have officially bought you all the time I can before we close out the show.
Okay.
So do you have your pick or do you nay?
We've already seen Halloween.
We are going to watch. You're hilarious. We are going to go ahead
Halloween
and watch.
2.
No, you can't find that anywhere right now.
No.
That one's always really hard to find. Don't tempt me.
I got it on disc from Netflix last week.
Yeah.
Fucking A, Glenn.
You're going to
Physical
watch it?
media. Wow.
I already
Physical
did.
media.
What the fuck?
I'm the last person that still gets discs from Netflix.
Yes, you are.
You're
And they
silly,
appreciate it.
Keep
Let's go ahead and watch the My Bloody Valentine remake, the 09
Ooh.
remake.
Oh,
On Hulu.
Dean.
Never seen it.
Really?
Or the
Delightful.
original.
I've never seen the original, but I saw the
Yeah.
remake. We saw the remake in movie theaters, right, TJ?
In
We
3D.
did. In 3D, yeah.
Yeah.
And the 3D
and then
was
we
some of the
bought
best
it
3D I'd ever seen.
on DVD. Yes, because
heard that.
no, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we sure will. And there you have it, folks. Denise has made her choice. My Bloody
Momo.
Valentine 3D.
Mama was there when we watched it when we moved back to California
Yeah.
in
he
that
was.
apartment where it shook when the planes took off.
That's very true.
We were up at
Jensen
Frighteners
Ackles,
is-
yeah,
Anyway.
J-Ack.
We could
Yeah.
do Frighteners. That doesn't.
Absolutely, you can do Frighteners
counts.
if you'd like.
Oh, for sure.
If anyone would like to do Frighteners, they're more than welcome to.
Ask
Um,
questions about the menu.
But yeah, so that'll be next week's show, My Bloody Valentine 3D, Hulu. Catch it on Hulu if you got that. If not, I'm sure
Ooh.
it's for rent somewhere on Amazon or Apple. But that's it. That's the show, guys. We did it.
Yeah, I'll
Another
post
one
that
in the
in
can.
Discord. And we
Tell-
chose one for next week.
And we did. We're ahead of the game. We might actually be, catching on here. Glenn, tell the folks at home where they can find you on the internet.
I'm on Twitter, which I'm terrible at, and still not getting better. At
Tisk
Odd,
tisk.
Odd Movie Master. Yeah.
Excellent,
Do I
Denise.
like-
What about you? Where can
Cool.
we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on the interwebs on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Denise Pantoja. You can find me on TikTok, doing nothing right now at the Demogorgon. I'll be up tomorrow night playing some Resident Evil again. It's been too long.
Ooh, which Resident Evil are you playing?
Well, I've been playing the first one, the remake of the first one, and then I'm gonna, once I clear some room off my computer, I'm going to hop into the Resident Evil 8, the Resident Evil Village game
Village.
because
Oh, I'm
why
so
not?
excited to watch you play that because I've never played the Resident Evil games, because I hate the mechanics on how to play them. Like, I love watching people play them. Like, I would watch people play Resident Evil all the fucking time, but I hate the mechanics playing that game, so I've never played them.
Right, they're rough.
So I'm glad that you're playing through them, Deeks. I'm getting to live what's the word I'm
Vicariously
looking for?
through me?
Vicariously through. I was gonna say cathartically through. But yeah, that's
And
it. That's it.
cathartically.
Yeah, that's it is cathartic to live vicariously through.
Where can they find you, TJ?
Oh, you can find me at TJ Rotell, wherever popular internets are sold. And that's our show. Guys, thank you for being here. Chat, thank you for being here. Everybody in chat, Epic and Mac Morning and Zis and
Momo.
let's see who else is in there. Mo, Death and Saints.
Saints.
Thank you all for coming
everybody.
and hanging out with us. Thank you all for being here and spending your Friday night with us. Y'all are the best. You really are. And yeah, some exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. Gonna have some announcements after the week of, what is this, the 23rd, 24th, somewhere. What's the week? What's that Monday? I don't know. That Monday. Whatever that Monday is, that's the week. We'll have some exciting announcements the following week. So last week in June, I guess, is the easier way to say it. But yeah, we'll have
That's
some
right.
fun announcements for some stuff coming up in July at the end of the month. So stay tuned to that. Stay tuned to the socials. Thank you all so much for being here. We love loving you. We love that you get to hang out with us. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And until we meet again, I don't know, like
Peace out.
peace. What's a good way to end the show? I don't.
Eat some brains.
Eat some brains. That's
I think
it.
we need to come up with a catchphrase.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Until then, eat some brains, everybody. Good night.